All right, in the next few minutes, we're going to talk about a technology that is totally changing the game for how businesses communicate. We'll use an AI solution called CogniChat as our guide to really see how it works and what it means for the future of, well, everything.
So let's kick things off with a problem that, let's be honest, we've all been through. You're trying to get a simple answer and you're stuck waiting. And waiting, for businesses, providing instant, helpful support around the clock is a huge challenge.
And this isn't some small niche issue. I mean, get this, a whopping 86% of business leaders believe AI is on the verge of completely changing how they talk to their customers. That's not just a trend, that's a seismic shift. So let's figure out what's really going on here.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the communication challenge itself. Then we'll meet the hero of our story, the AI chatbot. We'll peek under the hood to see what makes it tick, check out the real-world results, and finally, see how a business can actually get started.
You know, just about every business out there is doing this constant juggling act, right? You've got to keep costs low, but you also have to deliver this amazing customer experience that helps you grow. It's a really tough tightrope to walk.
And this is where the solution comes in, a whole new generation of AI assistants. And let me be clear, we are not talking about those old, clunky, frustrating bots from a few years ago that just made you want to scream operator. This is something else entirely.
We're talking about a conversational AI platform. Now that sounds a little fancy, but here's the simple breakdown. It uses something called natural language processing, or NLP, which basically means it gets how we actually talk, with all our slang and weird phrasing. Then there's the machine learning part. Think of that as its brain, constantly learning and getting smarter with every single interaction.
Oh, I love this, because it shows the night and day difference perfectly. On the left, you've got those old school bots that follow a strict script. You know the ones. The second you ask something it doesn't expect, it just breaks. But on the right, you've got the modern AI. It's fluid. It understands context. It remembers what you said 2 minutes ago. It's a real conversation.
Okay, so how does it actually do all that? What's the secret sauce here? Let's pop the hood for a second and take a peek at what's really driving this thing.
It really boils down to 4 key things. First, as we said, it just gets human language. Second, it has a memory, so it can actually hold a conversation. Third, and this is huge, it connects with the tools a business is already using, like Salesforce or Shopify. And last but definitely not least, the security is top-notch, so all that data stays safe.
But wait, it gets even better. Those are just the core features. The advanced stuff is where it gets really wild. We're talking support in 92 different languages. It can even pick up on a user's emotions, like if they're getting frustrated, and adjust its tone. And it works everywhere, on your website, in an app, on social media, for a totally seamless experience.
All right, this all sounds amazing in theory, right? Super smart tech. But what about the real world? What kind of impact does implementing something like this actually have on a business? Let's talk results.
Well, the numbers pretty much speak for themselves. I mean, just look at this. Customer response times, they go from hours down to seconds. Operational costs drop by up to 30%, and employees get back around 10 hours every single week. These aren't just little tweaks. This is a total transformation.
Just imagine this for a second. You can automate up to 93% of those repetitive, common customer questions. What does that do? It frees up your human team to focus on the really complex, high-value problems that actually need a human brain.
And that powerful automation, well, it goes straight to the bottom line. We're seeing businesses slash their operational costs by as much as 30%. That is huge. And of course, what happens when you give people instant, helpful 24/7 support? You get happier customers. It's not just a hunch either. It shows up in the data as a real, measurable jump of 3 to 5 points in those all-important customer satisfaction scores.
Okay, so the results are pretty darn convincing. But the big question is, how does a business actually make this happen? So for our final section, let's look at the roadmap for putting this into practice.
The good news is you don't just flip a switch and hope for the best. It's a really clear 5-step process. It takes you all the way from figuring out your goals to designing the actual conversations, testing everything out, and then launching. And the best part? Phase 5. It keeps learning and getting better over time.
And you know what's really great? This kind of powerful AI isn't just for the giant corporations anymore. With clear tiered pricing like this, it's actually accessible for businesses of all sizes, whether you're a small shop just starting out or a huge global enterprise.
And the possibilities here are just endless. You see it everywhere.
In e-commerce, it's helping you find the right product and track your order. In healthcare, it's scheduling appointments. In finance, it's helping with account questions. It's delivering real value pretty much anywhere you can imagine.
So, when you really boil it all down, this isn't just about some cool new piece of tech. It's about a fundamental shift in how businesses engage, support, and grow with their customers. It's a whole new conversation, which, of course, leaves us with one big question to think about.